giving you useful and practical tips to help you make more money selling travel. This is the Art of Selling Travel Podcast. And here to guide you through it all, your host, Glenda Beagle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Art of Selling Travel Podcast. I am so excited to have you here. If you are new, my name is Glenda. I am a former travel advisor. I have sold tens of millions of dollars worth of travel over my nearly 20 years as a travel advisor. And for the last number of years, I have been coaching. I started off with small businesses in the marketing world. But in 2020, I decided I wanted to come back to coach specifically the travel industry. And as the title of the podcast would say, I focus on the sales side of it. Now, sales and marketing, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. A lot of times they're like a really smashed together peanut butter and jelly sandwich where we don't really know where one ends and one starts. Here's the thing. A lot of times they are so completely interlinked, it really doesn't have a start and a stop. So on this episode, actually, first off, before I go there, I just wanted to give you such a huge shout out because between last week and this week, we crossed over 30,000 downloads on the podcast. That is absolutely huge. In between June 1st and May 31 of June 1st of 23 and May 31 of 24, we had more than 28,000 downloads. And so if you're doing a little bit of quick math there, that meant we only had like 1,600 prior to that. That meant in the first 19, 20 months, we only had 1,600 downloads, but in the next 12 months, we had more than 28,000. And that is because of listeners just like you sharing it with your colleagues, with your travel advisor friends. And I just thank you. I am so incredibly humbled to know that you are spending this time with me. And I don't take that lightly. I am so genuinely humbled by that. And so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're loving this podcast, please rate and review. Give us a 5-star rating. If it's not worth a 5-star rating, send me a message because I would love to know what you would like to hear on the show. But let's get into it. Okay. So peanut butter and jelly, sales and marketing, they go together. And when people come into our free Facebook group, I ask, what are your biggest obstacles? And there is a repeating theme. It is always one of 3 or 4 things. And topping the list lately, and I mean like 10 out of 10, at least 9 of them are saying getting leads, finding leads, can't get anybody, like, where are they? Well, here's the thing. We're not like, they don't come around with a sign on them. We actually have to go out and find them. And the way that we do that is by creating a way for them to know what we do. Do they even know that your business is open? Do they even know you are open for business? That's a big one. A lot of times when I ask travel advisors, I'm like, so what did you do to launch your business? They're like, what do you mean launch it? Well, if you were opening a store on Main Street of your local town, you would do a grand opening. You would probably call in the Chamber of Commerce. Perhaps even the mayor would come. Now, obviously, as you can tell, I'm from a small town, so the mayor would come. You would cut a cake. You would cut a ribbon. There would be a little bit of pomp and circumstance. But yet somehow, because we are running, for the most part, a lot are running independent businesses based from their home, they do it quietly. And it's kind of, nobody knows it's there. It's just one of those things. And then on top of that, if you listen to last week's episode, we talked about social media. And I hear from people, travel advisors all the time, I don't want to be on social media. I don't need to be there. Well, how on earth do you think people are going to know you're open? Because if you're relying solely on them to find your website, that's a whole other ball of wax. That's a whole other struggle involved. See, we want to be in places where people will know how to find us. But more importantly, we need to know where to go to find them. One that I see a lot of times too is finding aligned clients. My question it's always a follow-up question. What is an aligned client? And funny enough, a lot of advisors aren't able to actually answer that. They're like, well, just somebody who's aligned with me. I'm like, great. So who are you? Because if they need to be aligned with you, you need to know who you are. You need to know what that looks like. I would say the best way I could describe it is if you were looking at from the perspective of a matchmaker. And I was listening to a podcast this weekend while I was planting in my flower boxes and garden boxes and everything else. And it was The Women Your Mother Warned You About. And they had a professional matchmaker that was on there. And she was talking about you have to make a list of what you want out of that perfect someone. And as I was listening to this, I'm like, geez, this is what you need to do in business. When you're trying to find that perfect client, write it out. What are the qualities that you're looking for? What is the personality traits? And more importantly, do you have the goods to back it up to be with somebody like that? Because while you're definitely not dating them, there's been an advisor or two over the years that have used this as a side. Just don't. But no, seriously, you're going to be entering potentially a long-term relationship with your clients, because depending what they're working on, you might be booking something for them now that doesn't travel for 12 or 18 months. You're going to be going through all of the processes. And ideally, when everything is done well, you're going to be working with these clients for decades to come. I think that was really and truly the thing that I loved the most about selling travel, was building relationships with my clients that superseded what was going on with their trips. I got to know them, their family, the milestones, the celebrations, the losses that they had. I got to be a part of it because we were no longer just, client advisor. We actually developed a degree of a friendship in there. Now, obviously, it was still a very professional relationship, but it allowed through the rapport for it to kind of have that intersection where it became a part of their life. So if you're wanting to attract new clients or trying to attract specifically the aligned clients, what does that look like? What is it you want to sell? Because when we're trying to attract clients and we don't know what we want to sell, we don't know what we want that offer to be or anything else, then people who are looking for a travel advisor don't know how to find you. They don't know if you're the right one. Your entire job as a person in sales, heads up, travel advisors are in sales, is to create certainty and clarity so that your clients can have the confidence to say yes. So if you don't have clarity and certainty of who it is you want to work with, what it is you want to sell, how on earth are you going to have the confidence to ask for the sale or to even put yourself out there so that somebody can find you? Now, I'm not saying that the only way to find people is on social media, but what I am saying is depending on what it is you're trying to sell, you got to make sure that's where your client's hanging out. Are you trying to attract young families or honeymooners, but hanging out at a senior fair? We've got to know where it is that your ideal client is hanging out. Now, I'm not saying your ideal client has a specific age. I'm not saying they have a specific price point. To me, it's always humans first. So what does that look like? Are you helping stressed out, busy parents? Well, what makes them stressed out? What makes them so busy? Oh, they're running errands with their kids and they're having to be at this tournament and that tournament and they're doing this and that. They're always on the go. Okay, great. Well, where are they on the go to? How are we going to connect with them there? What are the opportunities for getting in front of them where they're at. Is there a way that you can possibly sponsor the local holiday pageant or the local basketball tournament? What are the opportunities that are available there? Is there a way that you can be a part of the local hockey team, local baseball team, something of that nature? Perhaps the people you want to do business with are involved with the church. What are the opportunities that are available to you there? Whether that's through volunteering, whether that's through creating some sort of an event where you can entertain them with education about opportunities that are around the world. What does that look like? See, in order for us to be able to attract clients, we have to be confident in what it is that we want to offer, what it is we want to sell, and who it is we want to work with. But above all else, we have to be the most confident in ourselves. We have to be confident in what it is that we want to put out, what we want to do with our business. This is where you have to step into being the leader. I talked about this in the Travel Advisor Success Studio recently. This was a major part of our training the other day, in that you have to set the vision. And then from there, everything else looks through the lens of that vision. Because if you know that your goal is that you want to sell 50 river cruise passengers, well, where are they hanging out? What platforms are they on? What restaurants are they going to? What events might they be at? Is there a golf tournament you could participate in that there might be opportunities there? What are the opportunities that are available to you based on the person, not the bank account, not all of those demographics? Instead, let's start tapping into the psychographics of who it is that we want to work with. What are they struggling with? How can we make their life easier? Those are the conversations that you want to be having. Do they just need to be able to relax one evening? Well, that sounds like a wine and cheese night to me. What goes better with wine and cheese than talking about Italy? You know, there's so many opportunities that are waiting for you. But before you can go out and find your clients, because I promise you, they do not walk down the street with a bow on their head that says, I'm looking to book travel. As much as that would make life so much easier, unfortunately, it's just not the reality. So before we can go out and find them, we have to make sure that we're clear with what we want to do, who it is that we're looking for. Because the other thing is, just like when you're dating, if you smell of desperation, oh, honey, nobody is going to be picking you up. You got to make sure that you are confident. What happens if you are that confident, self-assured? And it does not matter if you are a man or if you are a woman, if you are confident and self-assured, I promise you, others will flock to you. But if it looks like you're going to jump, actually, we just rearranged the office that I'm in. It's actually our home gym as well. And it has floor to ceiling mirror. And as I'm telling this story, I'm chasing a squirrel. The dog just came in for the first time now that we've pulled out some of the equipment to make more room for the office. And it's the first time he's ever seen himself in the mirror. And he was just scared, like beyond scared. And so he had to run away and leave the room. And then he came back trying to pretend he's all tough. And then something in the room moved, so he ran away again. You know, here's the thing. If you're not confident in what it is you want to attract, who it is you want to work with, the same thing is going to happen to you. Somebody's going to ask you a question and you're going to run. You're going to get scared. And you might think, "Oh, no, I'm not." I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of travel advisors I work with that they're like, "No, I didn't run." And I said, "But what did you do?" "Well, nothing." Or, "I'm just waiting for them to get back to me." We have to have that confidence. We have to have that ability to know who we are and what we're doing and who it is that we want to work with. Because when we put that out there, you're going to be amazed at what comes back to you. Okay. In the weeks that are coming up, we have some phenomenal episodes. Coming out later this summer is going to be a series on host agencies. If you have thoughts on host agencies, good, bad, otherwise, go ahead, send me a DM on Instagram, Art of Selling Travel. You can even voice memo it if that's better for you. I am down a hyperfixation rabbit hole. This started off as going to be as like 1 or 2 episodes. I messaged a friend of mine. I'm like, at this rate, it's going to have to be a whole entirely different show. We're still working out what it's going to look like to actually deliver it, because there's going to be a lot of content with it. And I can't wait. Again, if you've got ideas that you want to hear about on the show, go ahead, send me a DM. Email me, glenda@artofsellingtravel.com. And again, if you love our show, please give us a 5-star review. If it's not worth a 5-star review, send me a DM, send me an email. Let me know what you would like to hear on the show. And until next time, happy selling.